Hi guys, I think you guys are craving some citrusy fragrances. I've received multiple comments, messages asking me to update my citrus fragrances video. So today I've got a spring themed citrus fragrance video for you today. It's a ranked list. Find out about the citrus fragrances for spring coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian talking to you about spring fragrances today. Do you guys, I should say, citrus fragrances that are perfect for spring? Although these are citrus fragrances, I think that you can wear all year round. But just keep in mind they're very fresh. Some have more substance than others, so they can have better longevity with colder weather. But if you carry some decants around or you carry your bottle near you, just spritz up to replenish if you feel like your fragrance is kind of like wearing away and it's no longer on you. But you know, I love citrus fragrances. I love them because they're so bright and uplifting and just put you in a good mood. And you know, even though spring is on the way to warmer weather, we still have cooler days, but still, if it's kind of dark and gloomy outside, these will give you a nice burst of sunshine with their citrus touches. So let's get started with the list. It's a ranked list, as I said. At number 20, going to the house of Thomas de Monaco, it's Ultima Storia. It's at the bottom of the list. Ranked here is where it fits. It's a citrus fragrance that's powdery, also a bit fruity, and also lightly gourmandesque, but it features dark black lemon or citron. In addition to that, we've got almonds, pear, coffee. There's also powdery notes like orris. There's leathery touches, talcum, and linen. So it's a different take on a citrus. It's citrus plus a lot more. It's got a bit more substance and it's also powdery, and as I said, a bit gourmand and fruity as well. Let me know if you're a fan of Ultima Storia from the house of Thomas de Monaco. Then going to the house of BLNDRGRPHY, once again with something citrusy with a bit more substance. This is Amber Negroni, this one right here. So this is a bit gourmand as well, in addition to what a Negroni is made from, bitter orange. So there's a lot of orange touches here. In addition, there's chocolate latte, there's Mandora, there's tangerine, there's orange, there's the gin, caramel, ISOE super, Ambroxan, and Heliotrope. This one also gets powdery, but it gets chocolatey. Just imagine orange is dipped in chocolate, kind of an effect happening here, but it's more about the Negroni idea, which is what they tried to accomplish here. But it's a really nice take on a bright, juicy orange fragrance with a lacing of chocolatey gourmand touches. So it's Amber Negroni from BLNDRGRPHY. Then going to the house of Giardini di Toscana. This is Colonia Nobile. So a great classic eau de cologne style fragrance, but in the style of Giardini di Toscana fragrances. This one's quite powdery to me, but once you get past the powder, it's got those magic touches of the classic eau de cologne style fragrances. We've got Petitgrain here, we've got Neroli here, there's a Bergamot. In addition to that, we've got Benzoin, Oakmoss, Ambrettolide, Ambroxan, and Karismal. So it does get a bit substantial when it's drying down, ambery, woody, musky, and of course it's all bright and fresh up top with the citrusy notes. Colonia Nobile from Giardini di Toscana is quite nice. We're going to the house of Juliette Has a Gun. It's Ex Vetiver. So Ex Vetiver is a really great freshie with a bit of substance with the vetiver when it's drying down. It's a vetiver focused fragrance with a lot of juicy citruses up top. So the initial blast is all citruses, but I feel like the vetiver gives you a bit of substance here, some depth to the fragrance, and so giving it a bit of a prolonged life compared to something that's all citruses. You've got Haitian Java vetiver here, Ambroxan, along with lemons and bergamot and musk. Really juicy citruses with the grassy vetiver. This is Ex Vetiver from the house of Juliette Has a Gun. So we're going to an old standby from the house of Mancera. It's Intense Cedrat Boisé. So you know what? This fragrance is becoming fruitier as it macerates in the bottle. So when I take it out and smell it, the blackcurrant note that's in here has kind of gotten more intense. Has that happened to you guys? But to me, it's kind of like a Aventus-like fragrance, but more with citruses, light fruity berry touches rather than the pineapple. But it's a more intense take on the original Cedrat Boisé. This one has more leather in it. In addition to that, there's oud and musk, but it's very, very juicy, citrusy with spices and the blackcurrant. I really enjoy it. It's kind of a dumb reach fragrance, you know. It's an afterthought. If you want to smell great, fresh, pleasant, citrusy, you would pull for something like this. It's an Intense Cedrat Boisé from the house of Mancera. We're going to the house of Thomas Kosmala next. This is number 1 Tonic Blanc, this one right here. Are you guys familiar with this one? This is a great house, mostly known for number 4 Après l'Amour, but this is also really great in that eau de cologne style fragrance, but with a really intense kind of Ambroxan muskiness that's here in the base, kind of reminding you of number 4 Après l'Amour from the same house. Most people know that one. If you don't know this one, do check it out. It's very bright and fresh with neroli. There's orange, there's bergamot blossoms, orange flower, bergamot, mock orange, along with musk and cedar, but you definitely pick up that kind of Ambroxan vibe that's in the base, and that will remind you of number 4 Après l'Amour, their more popular fragrance, which to me is an Ambroxan bomb. So this is Thomas Kosmala's number 1 Tonic Blanc. That is at number 15. Then we're going to the house of Parfums de Nicolai. This is Neroli Intense. Super intense take on Neroli. More ambery for me. I feel like there's a lot of ambery touches here, and it becomes and gives the fragrance more depth. Still focusing on the Neroli because that's what the fragrance is all about. You've got Neroli here, orange blossom, there's beeswax, there's Petitgrain, along with juicy citruses like mandarin, orange, and of course tarragon, pittosporum, and musk. There's 2 different neroli focused fragrances. This one's the more intense one. The other one, even though the juice is also very light, is more fresh and airy. Here, as I was saying, it's got more depth and it's a bit more ambery when it's drying down. So use this one when it's cooler outside to give you that fresh ambery experience with the neroli. So that's Parfums de Nicolai Neroli Intense. And then we're going to the house of Ormond Jane. It's Tanger or Tanger. This one right here. So there's a lot of cashmeran here, so it's quite musky. There's also a lot of juicy citruses and citrus floral notes in here as well. So we've got the notes breakdown as neroli, mandarin, bergamot. Of course, as I said, there's cashmeran, there's dry amber, vanilla, moss, ylang ylang, and rose petal. It does come off dry. To me, I don't get a very juicy experience. It's more musky with a cashmeran note, but it's definitely very pleasant. It has a bit more depth than your traditional citrusy fragrances because it's got an overdose of musky notes and like cashmeran and things like that with the citruses. So that's Tanger from the house of Ormond Jane. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. So up next, going to the house of Javoy. It's a new one. Their latest fragrance is Aqua Memorabilis. This one right here. I haven't spoken about this one much, but you know what? I was surprised at how good it is. I'm not saying it's anything like over the top amazing, you know, groundbreaking, but I think it's a really delicious orangey take on a citrus fragrance. It just gives you that kind of blast of sunshine in a bottle, but there's also a lot of musky notes here as well, in addition to the citruses. So there's ambergris, cedar, musk, sandalwood, there's vetiver, black pepper, there's clementine, bitter orange, grapefruit, pink pepper, and violets. So it's a really nice, smooth, and very cozy citrus, and it's nondescript, not too overwhelming, not too intense, just a really pleasant, cozy take on a citrus fragrance from the house of Javoy. This is Aqua Memorabilis. That's at number 12. Then going to the house of Essential Parfums, it's Neroli Botanica. This one right here. I wear a lot of this one. Before the fragrance was out, I received this nice large decant, and I really enjoyed the fragrance. I think Anne Filippo did a great job on this one. She does really great work with white flowers. This is, of course, a citrus flower. It's a white flower, and neroli is basically the citrus floral note, and it's definitely paying tribute to neroli here. In addition to the neroli, you've got ginger, there's elemi resin, there's jasmine, there's vetiver, but it's very fresh and invigorating, but beautiful, gorgeous, kind of a warm take on the neroli as a star note, and it smells quite delicious with the great job that Anne Filippo did. So this is Neroli Botanica from the house of Essential Parfums. We're going to the house of Electimus next. It's Trajan or Trajan, whatever you want to say. So this is a very citrusy, juicy fragrance with the Baccarat Rouge Ambroxan vibe thrown in as well. There's a lot of saffron here and ambergris, and it's a cornucopia of a lot of juicy citruses here. The end result is not necessarily as juicy once everything is combined together, but when I'm wearing the fragrance throughout the life, there are some times when the citruses kind of become juicy, and I experience a really nice, combo of citruses plus that kind of musky ambroxan-y thing that's happening combined together. So it makes for a very long-lasting, citrus fragrance, giving you that kind of Baccarat Rouge-like vibe with a lot of the citruses combined together. So it's kind of a different take on BR 540 that everybody's familiar with. I'm saying it smells like it, but then again, it doesn't really smell like it. It'll remind you of it. So that's Trajan or Trajan from the house of Electimus London. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Then I'm throwing in something brand spanking new, which I actually featured in a haul video, and that video has not aired yet. So you'll find out more about it in that video, of course, here as well. I just bought this while I was on the trip. This is from the house of Jill Sander. This is Leaf. And even though it's called Leaf, there's a lot of citrus here, and it's perfect as a citrus fragrance. Leaf is, oh, I can smell it actually. Leaf reminds me of tomato leaves, but they don't mention the tomato leaves as a note in this. The only notes they're crediting is key lime, cardamom, and corn mint. But to me, it's very fresh and green and invigorating and uplifting. And to me, it's a breezy spring day. You've got wind blowing and hitting all the greenery in like some kind of a beautiful English park or something. And there's essences kind of like hitting your nose with the wind kind of, hitting those leaves and shrubs and things like that. It's a green fragrance, but also very, very fresh and citrusy. So this is Leaf from the house of Jill Sander. Really love that collection. I really fell in love with 3 of them. And hopefully in the future, I'll buy some more of the other fragrances in the collection. But the next fragrance going to the house of New Notes, it's Akigala Mandarino. So this one to me, whereas Trajan was like a Baccarat Rouge-like vibe with the citruses, this one is more like an Akigala wood, kind of a Canton Biche like fragrance in his DNA with the juiciness of the mandarin orange, which makes for a really great wearing experience. You've got a lot of Akigala wood here, amber, mandarin, jasmine, lily of the valley, freesia, raspberry, apples, and it's super, super delicious, very long lasting and intense. And if you're familiar with Canton Biche's creations or you're familiar with Akigala wood, you're going to really enjoy this one. I mean, if you like it, you'll really enjoy this one, especially with that juicy mandarin that's in here. So that's Akigala Mandarino at number 8. And this one keeps coming up quite often as well in my videos. Last Saturday, this was featured in an Elemi Resin Fragrances video. This is Amouage's Search. I felt like the perfumer did a great job on this one, and I didn't realize there was a lot of Elemi resin here. And Elemi resin, if you didn't catch that video, please go catch it. It's a more of a lemony, incensey take on a resin, usually in the top notes, and it's nice to combine it in here because there's a lot of citruses in here, plus the frankincense, which is smoky. So this resin really does a nice job combining the citruses with the frankincense and gets in the middle and kind of like combines them and binds them together. But there's Cade here, Vetiver, Gaiac, frankincense. In addition to the Elemi, there's lemon, lime, and mandarin. Super juicy, really great take on a citrus fragrance that's kind of smoky, incensey, and woody. So that's Search from the house of Amouage. Then we're going to the house of Nishane, it's Hachivat. Yes, I'm putting this one here. There's a lot of grapefruit here in addition to the pineapple. There's also a lot of patchouli and there's also Oakmoss. And of course, we've got woods and bergamot as well. So it's a citrusy, fruity fragrance, but on the screechy side. Whereas here, we've got a very pulpy, juicy kind of a Aventus-like fragrance. Here we've got more of a screechy, woody, sharp and metallic take on a Aventus-like fragrance. They're so different, and even though it's kind of a similar idea, but this one actually has a super sexy quality about it that I really, really like. And on skin, the fragrance just comes alive, and I think it's really intense. So you would pull this out in the most warm days in spring. Use it any time of the year, there's no rules, but it's a great release from the house of Nishane. Hachivat is at number 6. Then going to the house of Profumum Roma, this is Aquaviva at number 5. This has been a staple of mine. I've probably bought my first bottle around 12, 13 years ago. It was the alternative, the more intense alternative to Eau d'Adrienne from the house of Annick Goutal, which is exactly what it is. It's that kind of lemon drops, it smells like a lemon drop basically, or lemon lozenges or lemon heads kind of an idea. Very super tart and astringent lemony note with a lot of cypress and cedar mixed in, so it's woody, juicy, citrusy, lemony. I think it's perfect for a citrus fragrance focusing on the lemon note. This is Aqua Viva. Perfect fragrance. If you don't have that one and you have Eau d'Adrienne, you can totally replace that with that. Although I find the Profumum Roma to be a bit stronger than the Eau d'Adrienne. But moving on to the house of Celine, this is Parade. Parade has been one of my favorite fragrances from this collection, and to me it's such a magical smell. I absolutely love the way everything is combined here. One of the best citruses from a designer. It smells fantastic, and it comes in the most classy bottles. I love the Celine bottles. What do you guys think? But this is Bergamot, Neroli, Vetiver, Musk, and Oakmoss. It has a little bit of the Celine DNA, but for me it's a great fresh citrus fragrance, utilizing not only the juicy citruses but also the citrus floral notes as well. So that's Celine's Parade at number 4. And then moving on to the house of Boadicea the Victorious, this is Energizer. So this one to me is a grapefruit bomb, but man, it's really, really great. It takes the grapefruit and all of its rind, the bitterness, the kind of oiliness, and like there's a greasy, oily quality there. It puts it in the bottle, so you get that kind of bitterness, but also zing and spiciness of the grapefruit skin and the juiciness of the fruit itself. Combines it with vetiver, bergamot, oranges, lemons, and musk to create a really, really invigorating, but on the bitter side, take on a citrus fragrance. Really amazing. I think it's really, really great. When you put your nose to it, you smell the peel of the grapefruit, which is really, really interesting because I love, slicing citruses, and then, you doing a lot of that. You get all the oils on your hands and there's that fragrance on them, and that's pretty much what you get with the bottle here. So Energizer from the house of Boadicea the Victorious at number 3. Then going to the house of Sospiro with Vibrato. Vibrato is also very intense take on something like Tigar. It's very zingy, spicy with ginger. There's grapefruit here, bergamot. There's herbal notes, musk, cedar, jasmine, magnolia, patchouli, amber, and orris. It's a really, really great fragrance. Very, very long lasting. Super intense, super zingy, spicy, but also very fresh and juicy. Really wonderfully created fragrance. Yes, it's probably inspired by Tigar, but they gave it a boost and made it really super long lasting, and I absolutely love the way it smells. So it's Sospiro's Vibrato at number 2. Then at number 1, it's Profumum Roma's Orangea, this one right here. I really love the way this one smells. I love it in the heat. It comes alive. It's basically paying tribute. It's called Orangea, but they're utilizing Petitgrain, which comes off of the bitter orange tree, the leaves. So it's orangey, woody, earthy, green, bitter, zingy, spicy. Really wonderful ingredient and fragrances. Plus there's in addition to the Petitgrain, there's bergamot, cedar, and mint. Very fresh, very green, very juicy, citrusy fragrance. And it's a perfect citrus fragrance for you to try and wear this spring. So that's Orangea from the house of Profumum Roma. That is at number 1. So that's the list for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed the citrus fragrance options here. They're more on the luxury niche side. Some designers thrown in. Let me know if you have a favorite citrus I haven't spoken about. I'd like to check it out. And also let me know if you wear these fragrances that I spoke about today. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Otherwise, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.